Welcome to Anderson Speaks. This is our first edition in the new year, so Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that your holidays were filled with the spirit of the season and that you had a chance to enjoy them with family and friends and had a great Christmas. I'm Dick Murgatroyd, and on this edition of Anderson Speaks, we're going to be talking with May Hanna, who is Assistant Dean of Marketing and Communications for UC Claremont College and also host, as I'm sure you already know, of ACTV's College Connection. Gretchen Aberg, who is a certified personal trainer, lifestyle and weight management coach and instructor at Mercy Healthplex, and also Bob Wetter from Comey and Shepherd. And he's going to be here talking about a historic landmark in our area, and that's the Mount Washington Tower. So we hope that you'll sit back, relax as we meet our first guest, and I'm looking forward to talking with her. We've already had a great conversation. Sorry you missed that part. Anyway, May Hanna, welcome to Anderson Speaks.
Thank you.
Of course, you're right at home.
I am. Thank you for having me on the show. It's funny to be on this side.
Well, yeah, you know, it is. It's different. Yeah,
it is
different. But I'm really look forward to. I looked at your background, and interestingly enough, you've had such a terrific background, and you've been all over the country.
I have.
I mean, in getting to where you are today. Now, were you from here originally?
I'm originally from Cleveland,
oh,
so
okay.
I was born and raised there, and sort of made my way back to the Buckeye State through job transfers and that sort of thing. And my sister married a Cincinnatian, and so she was here, and my brother-in-law, Tom, is from this area, and then my parents decided to transfer down here from Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
And I moved here, and then my youngest sister moved here. So it's a family
affair. So the
affair.
whole family's here. Well, that's
in Cincinnati.
That's terrific. Well, it's a good place to. It's a great place to live. It really is.
It is
a super place to live.
It is.
You started out in journalism as a journalist, really, as a reporter. You went to Bowling Green.
I did.
For your undergraduate work.
I did.
And then you went. You were in Mississippi and you were in California, and each time you kind of changed the track of your career. Tell me a little bit about that. What you started out as a journalist.
I did.
And in sports.
Sports information.
Yeah, sports information.
You have a good memory. I did. I graduated from Bowling Green State University with a degree in journalism, news editorial, and so I always saw myself, you know, behind the desk, writing, in the field, that kind of thing. And I happened to get married to someone who was in the military, so that's where all of the jumps you see in my background, that's where they came from. And so we were in Pensacola, Florida, and I got a job at the Pensacola News-Journal, and I was a reporter and copy editor there, which was exactly the track that I had set out to do and accomplish as a college student. And a year later, got transferred to Meridian, Mississippi, where the newspaper was not hiring. There was a hiring freeze, and so I sort of, you know, took stock in what there was in town and what I could do. And there was, lo and behold, there was a community college in town, Meridian Community College, and they had a PR department, but no openings in, you know, just the straight PR, but they were looking for a sports information director. And so, you know, if you're trained in journalism,
absolutely,
you think, if I can write about, you know, if I can write an obituary or I can write about a house fire, why couldn't I write about sports? And so I did that, and I absolutely loved it.
How great.
Yeah, so that was kind of how I was sort of flexible, and my career led me down the path to PR eventually.
The whole idea, PR is kind of a, you know, it's sort of a difficult thing to put your arms around what that is, because it's one of those things that if you try to sell that to some companies, they're not sure. I think today probably they're more aware of it than they used to be, because when you mention PR, they'd kind of look at you like, so what is that? Kind of give us a little overview of what that entails.
Sure. Well, it's a lot of things. It entails a lot of writing, news releases, sharing the good stories about your organization, and For me, it includes speech writing, and so a lot of it really goes hand in hand because it's messaging points and communicating what it is as an institution or a company or corporation you want to share with your audience. And that audience may vary from place to place and day to day. But in general, PR is sharing good stories. In my case, it was working with the media to make sure if we had a big thing going on or we were announcing, a new program or, or something, it was there in place and I would be able to garner media for that. But it's also, if something bad happens on campus or at your company, you also have someone who's a professional who's used to dealing with media and they know what the other side of the house, so to speak, looks like. And so they're prepared to answer questions and get folks who may not be comfortable in that kind of spotlight together and sort of coalesce messaging points and ready, really, to undertake, whatever happens. So I think I think for any organization, it's a vital piece.
I think today, probably more than ever, just because of the fact that there is so much media now.
Exactly.
I mean, there's just a ton of media and the 24/7 media. I mean, they leap on whatever they can find and beat it to death sometimes until something else comes along.
Yeah.
And so and they can today. I guess the danger, is that they can twist it in a lot of different ways. And if you don't have somebody that's on top of it and especially who's able to guide the key people in the organization, they can get in a lot of trouble, not intentionally, but they just by some one silly comment maybe that throws everything. And people pick up on that.
They do.
And then they work it over. And so, I can't imagine today what it's like. I know I was in politics for a number of years, and I'm not sure, don't ask me why, but I was. But I had 10 good years. But I look at it today and I think, oh my gosh, I would not even want to venture into that realm anymore, that arena anymore, just because, while they jump on every single word you say and how you say it, and if they can, they'll make something out of it. And now you have, on top of that, you have all of this other technology out there. All of the blogs and all of the Facebooks and all of that so much stuff, information is distributed, a lot of times erroneously.
Exactly.
I don't, how do you stay on top of all that?
I think that's a great question. And I think that it's really important to be engaged in social media. I think that if you're not, it's really difficult to understand how the flow of social media works. For the college, I run the Facebook page. I also have my own Twitter account. It's at May Hanna, and because I'm the spokesperson of UC Claremont College, along with our dean, who's the CEO, I go ahead and I use those tools and the web. We have, web presence, and so I cross-market a lot of messages if I send out a news release. I also post it on our Facebook page, and then I also tweet the information out. But I also watch what's out there and what students are saying, and it's also a good way to figure out what that voice that maybe you wouldn't get that phone call, but they might be more inclined to type something on your Facebook page and say, I've had this experience, or can you help me, and that kind of thing. And so I think it's really important to be engaged in that media. And Twitter was started by PR people. And so it is a great, easy way to get a message out. So I like to say that Twitter, for a print journalism person or a person like me who started, it's like a headline. It's 140 characters. You've got to make sure your message fits in that, in that space. Yeah. And so I had the experience of, sitting at a desk and trying to figure out, how to write that headline that would fit in 2 columns or whatever it was, the space that I had in the layout. And so I think about that as I write tweets when I really want to get a concise message out. So
because all of those audiences in many cases, are different audiences, aren't they?
They are.
I mean, there are some people that do all of it, and some people that only
Right.
follow a certain aspect of social media. I marvel only because I wonder how in the world you keep up with it.
Well, I have an iPhone, and I'm attached to that iPhone all the time, probably more so than I like sometimes. And I have the best focus group a PR person could have. I have 2 teenage sons.
There you go.
So, you know, I mean, and they're friends who come to our house and I see on a regular basis. And so I'm always connected to what they're doing. And, you know, and Facebook was really popular a few years ago. And now I've noticed they've really exited Facebook and they're really on Twitter and Instagram. And so that's really the trend now.
The Twitter seems to really be growing. And I have to confess, I do not understand. I get these little things that say somebody's following me on Twitter. I have no idea what that means, and I have no idea how to follow them.
Okay.
So, and I get all these little messages, which are sometimes not even intelligible, but I'm sure they are if I just knew how to
Right.
read them.
Yeah, it takes a little while to understand
Yeah.
because you always see the handle. So for whatever yours is,
I have no idea. I've forgotten.
Okay, it's probably at Dick Murgatroyd or something like that.
Something like that.
And
yeah.
so once you start to figure out sort of the language, it's not hard, but it does take a little bit of time to figure it out. Then you start to understand because it seems confusing at first, but I promise you, if you really wanted to get engaged in Twitter, and I think that you have a lot to say, you'd do great in that median.
Well, I'll have to take a course, or I have to get somebody to train me. I've mastered. I don't think I've mastered Facebook yet, but at least I understand that a little bit.
Right.
And
we'll talk after the show.
well, we'll have to.
We'll get you on
to
Twitter.
Work on that for
Yeah.
sure. But it is amazing, and that's the thing, that there's just so much ability now to communicate into so many different ways.
Right.
But you know, I know just from my standpoint, and I'm not anywhere close to probably what you have to face every day. But you know, if you just go through the emails that you get come in every day, I mean, you can spend several hours just going through that stuff. And I'm trying to figure out when I can get my work done.
Right, right, exactly.
From that standpoint.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about UC Claremont,
Okay.
the campus, and a little bit about that environment where you are now.
Okay, so UC Claremont College is a regional college of the University of Cincinnati. We are in Batavia, located in Batavia. We have been there for 40 years, so we are celebrating our 40th anniversary
Wow.
this year.
Good for you.
Yeah, so
congratulations.
Thank you. So it's a big deal, a big celebration. The college is very much part of the community. The community, it's not a community college, but the community sees it as their college.
Yeah.
And we feel that.
And I think that's a good point, because I think sometimes think that the branches are community colleges,
Right.
and they're actually not. They're actually literally a branch of the university.
That's
of
exactly
Cincinnati.
what we
Yeah.
are.
So the students that go there, the education, they're really just beginning the first couple of years of the basic education that they need.
That's correct.
If they want to pursue a college degree.
Well, we do offer 2-year associate's degrees, so they can just come there for the 2 years, but we also, a lot of our students begin there and they can go anywhere. A lot of times they do go down to our Clifton campus and complete there. And so we offer 50 associate degree options. But one of the really neat things at UC Claremont College is we also have 8 completer bachelor degrees that are offered at the college.
Which is terrific.
Yeah, so we, the College of Nursing and there are several colleges, CECH and Allied Health, they come out and they actually offer the second 2 years for cohorts of students. And so those students don't actually have to leave Claremont County.
So they can complete their BA there at Claremont County
Exactly,
campus.
at our campus.
How many
So
students?
we have about 4,000 students at our campus.
Good size.
Yeah, it's a really nice size. It's a wonderful environment. Our tuition is half the cost of main campus for the first 2 years, but if you complete the second 2 years, even though you don't go downtown, you still pay the main campus tuition.
And the beauty of the campus like that, I think, too, is a lot of students possibly will go to college because of the fact that it's convenient and it's close to home and they're kind of in their own comfort zone, that might not even venture going to college if they thought that they were going to start at an urban campus like UC is. But I think that's true of any big college. A lot of students are afraid of that or frightened of that. So I think
that's
that
absolutely
offers
true.
an opportunity for students to get their feet wet. And I think once they get the confidence level, I mean, you know, then they feel comfortable about being able to, once they know that they can perform,
Absolutely.
then they're ready to go. What's coming up? Anything exciting? You're 40 years. I mean, you're going to be celebrating that.
Yes, we've been celebrating we're going to celebrate all year. We had a major celebration in the fall at the Cincinnati Nature Center. So we had a really nice event this past fall, and it was lovely, and attended by a lot of alumni and friends of the college and that kind of thing. So it was very special. We switched to semesters this year, and so that's a huge shift for us.
Yeah, that's been a big thing across the
state of Ohio.
The state of Ohio, and I talked to some students that were going to Cincinnati State, but that's been a big change.
It has been.
The whole difference in that semester versus I guess what they
quarters.
call them before quarters. They were quarters because I went to Ohio State and we were on quarter. I love the quarter system.
Some people do.
Because I really did, because I like the short, 10-week, quarters, and we were done before Christmas.
Right.
Which I really like, because now you're not. Now you got to carry over.
Actually, we did finish in December, and we will be starting the new semester in January. So we've started, as we speak.
As we speak. So now, what in the summer? Is there a semester in the summer?
There will be a summer, shorter summer.
Semester, yeah.
Correct.
I think it'll just take getting some used to when it's for students that are not used to that.
Absolutely.
That format, I think. I need to just do a quick plug for your show. Tell me a little bit about the College Connection. It's on ACTV, and you host it. Tell me a little bit about what's on there.
Sure. It's called College Connection, and so once a month we bring in folks from UC Claremont College or even UC's main campus, and we talk about just all kinds of things, programs, and this month's show, the January show, will be about veterans and the benefits, the post 9/11 GI Bill, and so we hope that the show offers the viewers some interesting just facts about the college, or encourages them to maybe consider going to UC Claremont College. And in fact, we have 22% of the Anderson area population actually attend UC Claremont.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a kind of a mix of student age-wise in that on the campus?
We do, and I should have said 22% of our population at UC Claremont is from Anderson, because I thought that didn't sound right when it came out. We do. We actually have 65% are traditional students, so the 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And then the remainder are non-traditional, what we call, the students who've been out of school 5 years or more. And so we have a really nice mix on campus of more mature students and our traditional students.
Plus, I think that's another great advantage of a campus like that, because it is attractive to folks that maybe want to go back. Some want to go back not necessarily to get a degree, but they just want to go back because they want to keep fresh on things or learn new things, and so there's a great opportunity to do that.
There's something for everyone.
Which is great. Well, you've got a great opportunity. You know what? You're in a great place, and no wonder you're so happy and enjoying it, because you've got a great slot there, and
I am.
And it sounds like a great product that you all have to offer to people. So if they want to find out something else, some more, tell me how they do that.
Our website is ucclaremont.edu, or they can call 732-5200, which is our main line at the campus, and we can get them to whoever they need to talk to about whatever topic.
Terrific.
Always happy to help.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's been a joy having you. I really enjoyed being with you, and hope we get to do it again.
I hope so.
Have a great new year.
Same to you.
And keep up the great work there at Claremont UC campus.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Take care. We're going to meet Gretchen Aberg when we come back. She is a master trainer and instructor at Mercy Healthplex, and we'll do that right after this message. Welcome back to Anderson Speaks. Our next guest is Gretchen Aberg. Gretchen has a Bachelor of Arts degree in dance. She's a certified personal trainer, a lifestyle and weight management coach, and by the American Council on Exercise, and a Pilates, did I say that correctly? Mm-hmm. Pilates reformer, certified by the Pilates coach. I have to ask you right away about Pilates.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, there's two types typically of Pilates. You have the Pilates reformer, which are exercises done on the Pilates bed. It's called a bed. It's got kind of a sliding platform, and you load weight onto the machine with springs. It's all Pilates-based technique, but it's done on a specific machine. And then the Pilates mat classes are Pilates-based exercises done on the floor, on a mat, so no machine required.
So how does that differ from normal exercise routines?
Well, it doesn't differ greatly, although a lot of the techniques that are used in Pilates are based on Joseph Pilates methods.
So that's
right. So, and over the years that's been transformed into, like for instance, I teach a fitness-based Pilates class, which involves Pilates-based techniques, but in a fitness setting. So, there's a lot of different things that you can do with Pilates now.
Is there an age group that it fits better than others, or is it pretty much anyone can?
I really think that it can fit all age groups. Typically you see, primarily with Pilates reformer, you might see anywhere from about 25 to about 60 years old, kind of that being the main age range. But the Pilates mat classes, can go as young as 15, 16 years old. You can do Pilates mat all the way up into your 60s, 70s.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You have a tremendous background. You have had a lot of, as I mentioned earlier, a personal trainer, and right now you're at Mercy Healthplex, which in itself is a unique and outstanding facility that offers something. I don't think there's anything it doesn't offer that to anybody that's interested in any kind of fitness program and all age groups.
Right.
Now, your specialty there?
Well, I'm one of the certified personal trainers there. I manage the fitness department at this time, so I work a lot with the personal trainers. I manage the Pilates Reformer program there, so I work with the Pilates Reformer instructors, trying to develop programming and services for our members.
Do you specialize in so you're basically the fitness area of the, but that covers a lot of different programs, doesn't it?
Right. It covers most of our weight management programs, our boot camp type programs, all the Pilates reformer classes, all of the personal training programs. So, quite a bit of the programming that goes on in that department.
How did you get involved, or did you purposely set out to be a personal or fitness trainer from the very beginning?
Yeah, I started out in dance. I was a dance major in college, and then I decided that I also had a very strong fitness background. I did sports through high school, and in college I ran track in college. And I decided that I really wanted to combine kind of the two worlds together with the dance and the fitness background. And that's primarily what I try to do with the classes that I teach and things like that, is to offer that kind of blend to people.
Mercy Healthplex is, as I mentioned earlier, is a really kind of a tremendous facility. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, I know they offer just about anything there. Do you have to be a member to be able to participate in any of the programs in that facility?
For some of the programs, they're members-only programs. Like all of our group exercise classes are all members-only. It's kind of a perk of coming with your membership. Some of the personal training and the Pilates Reformer are members-only programs. But we do have a lot of programs that non-members can participate in as well. A lot of our weight loss programming, you can participate as a non-member. Some of the tennis programming and the kids programming, you don't necessarily need to be a member. And a lot of the spa services, you don't need to be a member.
So you, in those cases, you pay as you go?
You pay, you pay a non-member rate for those programs.
Whatever you want to participate in. Mm-hmm. And there's really no age limit, is there?
No, we have babies in there from 8 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
And I just had a woman that I worked with today who's 84.
Good for her.
Yeah.
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 But baby's 8 weeks old. I mean, what do?
Well, we have the child care services there, so that starts at 8 weeks. I wouldn't say we have them in a program.
But that's a great thing for mothers who want to come and continue their program.
Right.
That you do have that child care.
The child care services are really great at the health.
And you pretty much can I guess. Design a program for an individual based on ages and on their and I guess inability to do some things or that they can't do, but you can design something to keep them still in an exercise program.
All of our personal training is individually based. So usually what you'll do first is go through a goal setting appointment where we'll find out what your goals are, try to design the program based around those goals, find out what your limitations are, whether you have orthopedic problems or medical conditions that might prevent you from doing certain things, and then we try to design an individualized program based on your needs.
And then now does the trainer follow through with them in their program, or once they've done that assessment,
right,
and they're into a program, then they move into with a class of people that are in the same, I guess, categories?
Right. Well, that depends. I mean, if you want to continue with personal training, that's obviously there's fees attached to that. Yeah. But we also offer programs for people that aren't interested in doing one-on-one training. Some people just come in for the initial assessment and program design and then decide to work on their own. Every year you get an annual check-in with your personal trainer so they can update your program if you need it. Then, we have all different kinds of things. I mean, people may opt to go into the aquatics program. They might have orthopedic problems that prevent them from doing land-based training. So we do offer aquatics programming for people that might have those issues. People might come there for the tennis programming. We have a really great tennis department, so if you're interested in tennis, we can get you started in there, or we have leagues that you can join and participate in tennis.
I'm not sure people realize that there is that facility is there, because it's we talked before the show, but I know I took a tour of that facility and I thought it was never going to end because it's huge. Yes. And it just keeps on going and going and going. And they do have tremendous aquatic facilities for folks. I participated in a program when I was in Memphis. There was an adult program that the university offered. Actually, it was offered by the medical department at Memphis State, and so, but the public could participate, and I got involved in it. And there was a group of about, I think there were 20 or 30 of us, and we went twice a week, and each night was something different, some kind of different program
Right.
that geared to us, and then
Kind
of
of
course
introduced you to different things.
and they but they monitored blood pressure every time and vitals and things of that
Right.
sort. And the one thing I enjoyed the most, and probably I benefited the most from, was the aquatic program that they
Right.
had, because it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different form of exercise, but it's not a
Yeah.
strenuous. It's strenuous, but not strenuous
Right.
on the body, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah.
In fact, I hated it because when I left there, I never picked it up again. I never did anything more about it. But
Well, if you have balance and stability issues, or you have some orthopedic problems that you can't be out on the land, the aquatics is a perfect opportunity, because if you fall in the water, you're falling in water.
yeah. Don't get hurt too badly on that. For
So
sure.
it's a great.
But
That's a great avenue for people.
It really is. I mean,
Problems.
I think it's a tremendous. I mean, I should start it up again, but I say that all the time. Talking about that, we're starting a new year, and everybody always, makes a ton of resolutions, which they never keep beyond probably the end of the week of the first time they make the resolution. But and usually it always involves either I'm going to start exercising, I'm going to try to get back in shape, or I'm going to go on a diet, I need to lose weight. And we it sounds good, everybody gets excited, and then a few days later
Right.
they quit.
Right.
What do you recommend? I mean, what are some of the programs maybe that would be good for people to at least take a look at, just to begin to do something like that? Because I think it is important for people to, I think, take care of
Right.
themselves. And I think the better you take care of yourself, the less time you're going to spend at hospitals and doctors and things of that sort. So what do you recommend to folks?
Well, I think weight loss being one of the biggest resolutions that people make every year is one of the first things you do is stop making that your New Year's resolution.
That's the
And
best
start-
advice I've heard.
And start making it a lifestyle choice. So, and one of the things we try to do at the Healthplex is to make that more of a lifestyle choice rather than something that you're going to do for a short period of time and then, not change any of your daily habits. So we have several programs. We have a program called Camp Weight Loss, which we run throughout the year. This year it's going to start on January 12th, and that is a 6-week weight loss program where you meet as a group with weekly weigh-ins to keep you accountable to your weight loss. There's a 20-minute nutritional component, so a weekly habit that you're working on that week, and then probably about 40 to 45 minutes of exercise. So we're trying to combine the two, because weight loss is about diet and exercise working
you have to have
together,
both, yeah.
right? So, and then that program is kind of ongoing, so you can stay with it. If it's something that's working for you, then I recommend that you stay with a program. We also offer small group weight loss. If you're more interested in having something that's a little more personalized, we have groups of 3 to 6 people that we get together and work on a weight loss program with a smaller group. So, and then you get a little more individualized attention.
I think the tough thing, of course, my situation is I eat out all the time. I don't eat at home because it's just me, and I don't cook, and
Right.
I don't have time
Right.
to do that. And so I eat out all the time. It's very hard when you eat out to create any kind of sensible diet. I mean, I
Right.
try
Yeah.
to avoid certain things, but it's very hard to do when
Right.
you're eating out all the
Right.
time. Can you still, I guess, get yourself on some kind of a program that at least it will help you maintain sort of a
Well, there's
weight.
strategies for eating out that you can do for losing weight when you're in a weight loss plan. And a lot of those strategies are many times laid out in a program that you're participating in. Or you can certainly talk to somebody about strategies that you can use for eating out. Portion size control, that's one of the things about eating out. Usually when you eat out, the portion sizes they deliver to you
they're
are
huge.
4 times what
Yeah,
you
they are,
need.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's strategies for dealing with that. There's strategies on how to order off of a menu that you can use, healthier choices that you can make when you go out to eat. If you eat out all the time, when you eat out once in a while, it's fun to go out and
Well,
eat.
yeah,
and
yeah,
just,
that's
you know,
for just
just
caution to the wind.
caution
and you
to the
just sort
wind.
of,
But
yeah.
if you're eating out frequently, you do want to have some of those strategies that you use for ordering
I probably
when you eat
need
out.
need to look into
Yeah.
that. Because the thing I've noticed too is that a lot of friends I've had who've gone on the diets, and they do lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go off the diet, and then in no time at all they've regained all the weight that they
Right.
lost plus more.
Right.
I mean, so you really, I think your point earlier on was it really is more than a diet loss or a weight loss. It's a lifestyle that you have to really accept
Right.
and then live by that, basically.
It is lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
You know, you have to change your lifestyle. If you don't change your lifestyle or the habits that you've created, then what's going to happen is you're on a diet for a short period of time. You go off the diet and you go
Yeah.
back to your old lifestyle
Then you're back
habits.
to-
And
yeah.
the
And
reason
you're-
that you had gained weight in the past is
Is
because of the
because-
lifestyle habits that you had created over a lifetime. So it's difficult to do that.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's
It
very
is,
tough.
yeah,
And in
I-
the busy world we're in, where we're on the go so much, and we're constantly,
Yeah.
it seems like we never have time to devote to what we really should be doing.
It takes a lot of effort initially, but I think if you stay with it and you keep working at it and stay with a program, eventually those habits start to change and you develop new habits. And once you develop the new habits, it's a lot easier to keep the weight off.
Well, and then you become comfortable, I guess, more comfortable with it, and it does become part of your
Yeah.
life. How do you keep people motivated toward reaching those goals once they set them?
Well, I know for me, I think it really helps. A couple of things help keep people motivated. One are those weekly weigh-ins. You know, a lot of times we try to avoid the scale because we don't really like what it's going to tell us.
No.
So having someone keep you accountable to that is one of the ways to help keep you motivated on your weight loss goals. So if you see that you're gaining a pound or two, it's nice to know that so that you know that you need to cut back and go back down into weight loss. Another way is keeping a food diary or an exercise log, something that's tracking what you're doing. A lot of times we don't realize what we're eating, but when you have to write everything down, it suddenly becomes a real thing
Well, it does.
that you're
Yeah,
doing.
that does help. It
So
really does, yeah.
when I initially start people, I recommend that they keep a food log. I recommend that they weigh in weekly. I will usually track their weights so that we can keep track of where they're at. It's motivating when you see those numbers go down.
I would imagine too, if you're with a group, that helps. I think if you're, you become, get acquainted with a group of people, they tend to help you also because you're kind of
Right. You're all working at the
working
same goal.
for the same
Yeah.
on the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's important that you have a group that has the same goal as you. And if that's a weight loss group, then that's what your common goal
Which has
is
to help
to
a
lose
lot.
weight. Yeah.
Well, we hope that everyone will take your advice and that they will as they begin this year and not make a resolution, but look at setting a goal to change their
Yes.
lifestyle to the benefit of their health and their needs. How do they get a hold of if they're interested in Mercy Healthplex? Do they just call and make an appointment for an assessment? And
They can call into the main desk and be routed to wherever it is, whatever their interests are. They'll be sent to the right place. The number is 624-1871.
okay.
And, we're happy to have you come and visit us.
Well, you certainly have been a good spokesperson for them, so I think that's a good sign. And it looks like this is a good time to get started. So thanks for being with us.
It's a good time.
We
Yeah.
really appreciate your time and wish you well.
Thank you.
I'm going to probably look into some of those.
Okay.
I probably need to. Is what I probably need to
Well,
do.
we hope that we'll see you there.
You'll have your work cut out for you for sure.
No, it's going to be a piece of cake.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Well, we'll be joined by Bob Wetterer from Comey and Shepherd to talk about a historic landmark in our area, and that's the Mount Washington Water Tower. And we'll do that right after this message, so please stay with us. Welcome back to Anderson Speaks. Our next guest is Bob Wetterer. Bob, welcome to the show, and you're here to talk about the Mount Washington Tower.
Mount Washington Water Tower.
Water Tower.
It was built in late 1930s, and it's an icon in Mount Washington, and everybody from Anderson can see it from their home too.
Originally it was built as a water tower.
Correct.
You know, does it still function in that capacity today?
That's a big question. Waterworks, sometimes we hear people from Waterworks say yes, and sometimes we say no. But the big thing it does for this community is it puts us above the rest, because there's not many places with a water tower that at the holiday season we light it. And we're in the process of trying to raise monies from corporates and from local businesses to light the tower. We've gotten estimates on the cost, and to light the tower, buy the lights, which have a 20-year warranty, they run between $30,000 and $35,000 with all the brackets and everything. And we've already have $10,000 in the bank, which Mount Washington Savings Bank has given us, and other local merchants have already said they're interested. And I feel we can earn the money and light it. And when Anderson has a day, that Greater Anderson Day, and they want to put their colors on the tower, we flip the switch and make it work. With LEDs, you could unlimited number of how many type of colors you can use at one time.
And as we were talking before the show, now it's all computerized, so it's
Right.
not a matter of having
With these
to,
lights, it would
you
be
know, with those
computerized.
lights.
Now it's regular 40-watt bulbs, and there's 125 per strand, and there's 16 strands, and it runs $480 some odd in electricity, and that keeps going up because electric does. But with LEDs, the average cost to do the same job is $28 a month, so we can almost pay for a year of our electricity by getting these new lights. And it's on the Queen City Tour, which is good, and everybody can see it from downtown Cincinnati pretty well, up from 275. If you're at Mother Teresa, the nursing home over in Mariemont, you can actually go on one of their floors and see it at Christmas. So it would be a nice touch, and I know from experience there, my mother-in-law was in the nursing home, and we took her to the window, my wife and her dad did, and that's one of the times that she showed emotions of, and so it's really good.
Something that had a lot of memories
to her.
Is that one of the few towers of its type that's still in existence in the area?
Yes. I don't know any that look identical, that style. Most of them are open types, and then the only other one that the Cincinnati Waterworks lets you light is it's ran by floodlights, and it's the one over in Mount Airy at Coleraine and North Bend Road.
Yeah.
And that's the only other one that I know that does any type of lighting like that throughout the city. And those are the only two who have permission to do it. And I've been to the city and everything, as long as we don't advertise on it, as long as we keep it as a symbol, they'll let us do
Just
the
as
light.
a landmark
Yes.
for Mount Washington and for the area. Currently now, I guess the lights that are on there, somebody's got to go up there and put those lights
Mulder-Cassee,
up.
the Knights of Columbus, that's located in Anderson Township.
they really?
They do all the lights.
Really?
They've been doing it for years, and before that, the Business Association did it, and it all comes down to, it was two guys decided they were going to climb it and put some lights on the tower, and that's how it started, and it's been happening for over 50 years, and it's a great thing.
It's a tremendous tradition, yeah, it really is, and I think it's one of those things that people it just becomes a part of the
Right.
lifestyle and the area, and people expect it. And now
Everybody expects it.
Yeah.
When the first Saturday after Thanksgiving, the holiday walk from Mount Washington, which is a great event, you know, Santa Claus likes it a lot, and everybody comes out and they watch the tower be lit, and we keep it running till 8th to the 10th of January, and it's great. And this would just be a big plus to everybody, because if you're coming from downtown Cincinnati and you're coming to Anderson Township and they come out Columbia Parkway, you say follow the tower and just keep going on Beachmont Avenue through Mount Washington, and you'll end up in Anderson Township.
You'll be there. Yeah. I guess it's kind of almost, you know, takes the place of a tree lighting that some people have in some communities. Yours
Yes.
is the tower.
Ours is the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bigger tree.
Yeah, you do.
We have a bigger
quite a
tree.
bit. Yeah, I think you probably win the battle on that one as far as the height of that. The new lights, as you said, you're gonna be able to save a lot of money energy wise, and then they'll be on year round on the tower.
But if it's a special day in our city, like if a Big Red Machine, you know, is winning the pennant or something, we can make it red. Or if the Bengals came out and did it, or if it's Anderson Days, we can light it the way they wish. You know, we'll have a committee of 7 different organizations plus myself that are involved. The VFW of Mount Washington, the Masonic Lodge, and the Knights of Columbus of Mahler-Cassee, because they're the ones who will still maintain it. The Community Council plus the MWCURC, which is the business district, and myself, and we'll all sit down and talk about it. And like if Guardian Angels calls and said, hey, we want to do something, as a committee, we have to decide. And if that's what they choose, that's the way it'll be happening.
Yeah, the key is that it doesn't become a commercial.
Not at all. Not at all. It's
Anything commercial.
strictly to let the community know what it is and to keep Mount Washington basically on a nice roadmap.
And as you said earlier, you know, the new lights are fairly maintenance free.
They're maintenance free. They have a 20-year warranty, and they're an LED, so they're very, very low cost to operate. If you go to Dayton, Ohio, there's 3 bridges and a big building in downtown Dayton that have this same style of light. It's Richards Electric and Vinson Lighting out of Kentucky. And
yes.
So those 2 companies together are the people who, and the main distributor comes out of Cleveland, and that's who we've been dealing with. And the whole situation is, I went out on the internet and I've called everybody. I've called Philips and GE and everybody, and I understand also once we get them up and running, there may even be some Duke money to help support it. The biggest thing is I need corporate sponsors to help get the initial
So
fee.
you really now you're in the stage of just
Right.
needing to raise enough money to make the purchase, which and does that include the installation and everything?
Mahler thinks they can do that
They
portion.
think they can do that
and
portion.
we know we have to change the brackets, so we think $35,000 will cover the whole project. But the biggest thing about it is once we do it, we don't have to go up and change the bulbs every.
No.
Mahler has to do probably once or twice during even the Christmas season, because once they hit the actual tower,
Yeah.
some of them break, and
Yeah.
the life is totally different.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be much different. You said you've raised what, about $10,000
We have $10,000.
now, so you
That's from one donor.
25 to go, and
Yeah.
can individuals
Absolutely.
make contributions? How would they do
Absolutely.
that?
They can go to Mount Washington Savings Bank. They have a container there. They can send a check to the 484 Legion and just mark it for the water tower lighting. They can send a donation to Mahler-Cassee and just write the checks to the American Legion Post 484. They have an account. They're the ones who are set up to be able to take the money, because you have to have a certain designation, so it is a tax write-off.
I was going to say,
they're willing
is
to do
it
it.
a
Yes.
nonprofit, so
Yes.
it is a tax write-off if somebody
Right.
wants to
But all the
donate.
checks have to be made directly to them. And I think there's a lot of people, once they hear about it and, you know, they have trust in things, they may, if something happens to them, you know, they may want to leave that behind for their grandchildren.
Sure.
My father-in-law told me a story how many years ago they used to play a projector and play movies on the side of the tower.
Right?
And I mean, that would have been way, way back before my time, but he remembers that sitting in T.P. White's lot and watching the movies. And I said, well, I don't remember any of that. I came to Mount Washington and Anderson in 1973 with Shillitoes from the other side of town, and I met my wife, and it's worked out well for me.
Well, that's great. Well, but you know, I think it's nice to see a community get behind a project like that does have historic value and does have it creates a tradition. I think we're too fast to lose traditions. It seems like
Right.
in this day and age, it moves so fast, and you like to have something that people can connect to over the years. Even young people
Right.
can find a connection there, maybe that they can't with some other tradition. So it's great that you all are wanting to try to get that, keep that going,
And we'd still make it super nice for the True Holiday Walk, because that's a really nice tradition for Mount Washington. And a lot of people come from all over, and it's very well supported by the merchants. So we'd have to make something spectacular for those days.
Oh, sure.
But year-round would be just something nice and subtle, and to make it that it just gives everybody the opportunity to know that that's there, and that's something no other
nobody
community
else
can
has it.
claim.
No,
They can't claim
no.
that.
I mean, I think that's what's terrific. So local businesses are participating, and you're hoping to get a few more corporations
Right.
that
Right.
can.
And there's a lot of corporation people who live in Mount Washington and Anderson who would come along with it once we got it off the ground. Like this afternoon, I called Nick Ganem and Mary Ganem, who own the Mount Washington Creamy Whip, and I know Nick has a bunch of artwork, and I said, Nick, how do we get, since you're closed for the season, the pictures of the tower being built and things put into your window? And he says, I'll be up there tomorrow, Bob. I'll put them up. And he said, I'll leave them up until we open in the spring. And then I'm sure he'll have something displayed inside. And he'll be collecting money once he reopens. I'm sure of that. He'll put a jar, and we'll be putting other jars around the community.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to take a little time, but my father-in-law came to me 3-4 years ago, and he kept following me with it and said how much his wife liked it and stuff, and it just took a little time, but now I think we're on the right page, and
Well,
I think we're
the
getting
more,
there.
and I think the more people are aware of what you're
Right.
doing now and aware of it, that more people will come on board. I think it's just a chance for people to maintain something that's been there a long, long time, and
Right.
and you want to keep it up. And who maintains the tower as far as the
Cincinnati Waterworks.
so the waterworks?
Waterworks
care
maintains
of
that
the-
full. They have some functions inside of there, and they maintain all their grounds and everything, and they're kind enough to let Muller Cassidy put up the Christmas
Which
lights.
is great, yeah.
Which is wonderful, because it keeps the maintenance costs down by Muller doing all the labor of that, and the Waterworks maintaining their unit, so we don't have to ask the city for extra money to do that part.
Well, yeah, and that would become a problem. Then
Right.
that would limit you right there if you
Right.
had to do that. I'm going to take just a quick minute because we're running out of time, but I do want to ask you a little bit about your WISH program. I know you founded that WISH program some time ago. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Wish Tree started at Beachmont Mall, which is now Anderson Town Center, 28 years ago. It's a total nonprofit organization. Started with one charity, Aldercrest, the boys' home, at the bottom of Sutton Avenue, and it has just grown from one tree to a little over 500 trees, plus we have 43 charities now, and every year except the year Jim Scott had left town for 1 year, but all other years he's been my spokesperson. And the nice thing about it is all the organizations and all the different businesses throughout the city pick up trees, and we deliver gifts, and when people wake up on Christmas morning, I know they got a smile that they may not have had without us. And we do the nursing home, we do Mount Washington Care, and we do the Senior Center of Anderson, and we do all those types, plus we do inner city schools, and so it's pretty exciting.
That has to make you feel pretty good.
It does.
It really does. Yeah.
does.
You got a good spokesman with Jim Scott.
Yes. Oh, he's the finest.
He's the best.
He just turned 70 in the past few weeks.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I remember his birthday was just recent, not too long ago. Well, listen, thank you very much. I wish you the best on getting your funds together for the tower. I'm sure you're going to be successful, and
I think so.
And continued success on the WISH program.
If somebody wants to know more about it, they can call my real estate line. I'm with Comey and Shepherd, and that line's 513-624-8326. Love to sell my house, but I'd for sure like to see a little bit of donation. Or if they want to help just get something going, we'd be happy to talk to them about their ideas.
Well, you know, and everybody, you know, no matter how much it is, if they want to put
And nickel or dime, all add up.
But everybody can be a part of that. And
Absolutely.
Feel very much part of it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, a great
Thank
project, and I wish you the best in this new year, and hope it's going to be next year. You'll have it all by that time.
I hope so.
I do too. Thanks, Bob, very much. And I want to thank all of our guests for being with us today, May Hanna and Gretchen Aberg, and also Bob Witter. Thanks to our producer, as always, Nikki Bishop, and our director, Andy Crozier. And a special thanks, as always, to you for joining us on our first edition of Anderson Speaks in this new year. I'm Dick Murgatroyd, and on behalf of all of us here at Anderson Community Television, we want to wish you a very healthy, happy, and prosperous year. May it be your best yet. And until next time, may every day be filled with many smiles. Thanks very much.